How you doing, friends? It's Karen Channing. Welcome back to Crooked Lines. Crooked Lines. We're going to make some crooked lines today. You can see some crooked lines in the room around me. I feel like I've got crooked lines going in my head today. So I have a topic in mind that I want to share with you, but like I'm feeling nervous and I don't want to have my nervousness be the topic, but I don't want to pretend it's not there. So let's do an Inmoji. Remember what an Inmoji is? Excuse me, I'm nervous today. An Inmoji is an emoji that you make at the beginning of a session, of a project, of a YouTube video, whatever you're up to just check in with yourself and see how am I feeling right now. So as I'm getting ready to write my emoji, I'll just remind you that I'm a licensed therapist, have been in the field for a long time, and my primary gig is teaching continuing education to therapists. So I'll drop some links in the description below and you can find out all that stuff a little bit later. But for now, let's do an Inmoji. So grab your blank paper, okay? And let's just check in together. How do you feel right now? So I'm going to do a little doodling here. As you may recall from my very first video, I have a desk cam that I haven't plugged in yet so that you could see me actually doodling like on the table in front of me. But for now, we just do this view. Okay, so my Inmoji today is something like this. Let's see. Um, Actually, I think that's pretty expressive. It's not entirely like, I don't know, there is a smile for part of it, and I'm kind of like looking ahead, like I'm looking, like, what are we going to be doing here? I'm excited that I'm doing this. I've been wanting to make a video since a week or so ago, but I had a really, really busy week and didn't get a chance to. So that's just me kind of like, I'm here, but I'm a little nervous. Little nervous. Um, it's a physical nervousness, so we'll put kind of a little something around where the body would be. Yeah? Can you relate? You ever feel a little nervous like that? All right, fabulous. So there's the Inmoji. I feel better already, right? When you just tell what's going on with you and you get present with what's going on with you, ah, a little bit of space can open up. Okay, so here's what I want to share with you today. So part of why last week was so busy is I taught my ethics and burnout class. It's called Creative and Mindful Approaches to Burnout and Ethics, and it's a continuing education class for therapists. And we do in that class a gentle burnout recovery plan. So, a couple things I want to tell you about this. I happen to know because I've taught the class several times that this is coming, so I was thinking about it ahead of time. Last time I taught this class for my gentle burnout recovery plan, I took on 2 minutes a day for a week playing guitar. And guess what? It's been months now and I'm still playing guitar. So that's pretty amazing. I give myself like 2 minutes only. That's enough. I have 2 minutes in my day to do this. And my assignment was only to do it for a week originally, but now it's been a few months and I love it. It helps me. Speaking of nervousness, the other day after I taught the class, I had a lot of adrenaline going and I picked up my guitar and sang for a while and I felt so much better. Singing is so good for the nervous system and playing an analog vibrating wooden and nylon stringed instrument just really shifted something for me. So I'm so happy that that's back in my life. Okay, this time for my simple burnout recovery plan, my gentle burnout recovery plan, I had a bunch of ideas in mind, but there was something in particular that I thought would just make a teeny tiny, potentially exponential difference for me. So let's doodle this. So here's what I want you to think about if you're playing along. If you're feeling burned out in any particular kind of way, you might want to just look and see what's a teeny tiny change that I could make for just 7 days that I'd be willing to take on that could make a difference for me. So this time for me, instead of doing something that I was going to add in, like 2 minutes of guitar, this time what could make a difference for me is, I don't know if this picture will communicate to you, but these are my thumbs scrolling. If you can picture, like that's my device and I'm scrolling. Okay. So scrolling is a warning sign for me when I'm burned out. If I find myself just in my phone, I'm usually tired. That's one of my biggest times that I just scroll. Or maybe if I'm upset and I'm dysregulated, I'm not regulating myself, I might grab my device and just. Now, having said this, scrolling is only one of the things that I do to distract myself. I have a loop that I go through of all the messaging apps. I might check email when I'm not intending to do anything about it. There's sort of that dopamine loop. And we're going to talk about that a lot more in my next class, Left to Our Own Devices, which will be coming later this summer. And I'll keep talking about that sort of stuff on the channel here too. But knowing that we were making a gentle burnout recovery plan, I really only wanted to have one tiny little thing in there that I was hoping would have an exponential effect. So I'm kind of old, and so I just use Facebook as like the only socials that I use right now, except for like email and YouTube. But as far as like, I don't have a TikTok account. I don't really know what TikTok is even. I'm sure there's more things that are even more recent. I have an Instagram account, but I haven't touched it in years and years. I haven't posted anything on there. So Facebook, okay. But Facebook has an infinite scroll. And so if I am tired or maybe agitated or something and I grab my phone, I can have a tendency to subconsciously just get it out and jump, 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 jump through there. And suddenly time has gone by. One of the reasons that this topic came up for me this week is because if you watch my last video, you'll know I have a ton of creative projects all going on at the same time right now, and they're wonderful. And I don't want to cut any of them out. And so I've been looking at like, what could I cut out of my life? Is there anything I could trim up? And I thought the mindless interaction with my devices, I could trim up. Okay, so we start by asking, what's a tiny thing that can make a difference for us that we might be willing to do for 7 days? Okay, so no scrolling. So I'm keen to try that on. So the next question that we asked, there are two more important questions here. So the first question is, first question was, how do you feel right now? Next question is, what tiny little change that you're willing to do for 7 days, for maybe 2 minutes a day, or something you might remove for 7 days that could make a difference. The next question we ask is, what is likely to get in the way of me succeeding in this? So there's a couple things that I would say for me are likely to get in the way. One is, how tired am I? One one is, how tired am I? One is, I'll forget. So the first one I think is just me forgetting. And so it'd be like me, phone in my hand, thumb, scroll, 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 and then going like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm not scrolling. So just be like being oblivious, right? Oh yeah, I forgot I'm not scrolling, and I find myself scrolling again. That's likely to get in the way of me being successful. Okay, what else is likely to get in the way of me being successful? The other part is if I'm just really tired, like I was saying before, like if I find myself like just kind of lying around and I don't have the awareness or attention to put on anything else, it could be I find myself scrolling. Okay, so those two things are likely to get in the way. See, can you see that? Yeah. So, what small thing can make a difference? Not scrolling. What's likely to get in the way? All right. And then our third question is, what could help you plan for that getting in the way? What's going to help you be successful at making this teeny tiny little change? So, what I know that can help me be successful in making a teeny tiny little change, and I'm actually going to show you what I ended up doing, but I'll make a doodle of it first. What'll make a difference for me? So, two things I can think of right away. One is accountability. Like I could text someone, here we are using the device again. It happens, right? And I could say, hey, I did not scroll. Like I could pick one person and send that message each day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Check, 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 check. I could do something like that. I will often do that if there's something like, hey, I said I'm going to spend 2 minutes a day um, working on my writing, for example, or I'm going to spend 2 minutes a day decluttering my desk or whatever it might be, to go ahead and have someone that I could message and go, hey, I did this today. That can make a difference, right? So the other one that I know really makes a difference for me, and this is the one that I actually took a step on, and I'll show you in a minute, is I love making things to check off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need one more. 7. Okay, so it would be like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, so I already worked on it on Friday. Oh, I have my dates wrong on my little piece of paper, I just noticed. And Saturday, I didn't scroll. Today's Sunday. Sunday's not done yet. But just making a little chart like that I can have around me, and then I can get that dopamine or that serotonin or whatever it is. I'll learn more about the neurotransmitters, but whatever it is that fires off in our brain when we check something off, right? And then by the end of this week, I'll have that all checked off. So I'll show you. It doesn't have to be complicated. I made this on the back of a scrap of paper, and it says, I do not scroll. I am scroll free and I love it. And I checked off Saturday and Sunday. Actually, those were supposed to be Friday. Oh, those were supposed to be Friday and Saturday. You see how there's like a half box in the first one? That was actually supposed to be half a day Friday because I took this on Friday afternoon. So I was so spun out and burned out after teaching the other day. I loved teaching, but I was just, my brain was a little activated, so it was kind of crashing. So I didn't put my thing together quite right. But Saturday and Sunday, let's just say that's Saturday and Sunday, no scroll. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and next Friday, if I want to, I can check it off. But it doesn't have to be complicated. Little scrap of paper, little note to yourself. So when I think about this not scrolling thing, I got to make an Outmoji before we go. This is turning into kind of a long video. When I think about the not scrolling thing, my hope is really that it will have ripples into these other areas of my life that I have worked on putting some guardrails around. I can see across the room from me, I have a schedule of when I check my business email, when I check my personal email, when I check my messaging apps. But I was in that rhythm for a while, and then I went traveling and it went out the window, and I had a visitor and it went out the window. So I want to put all that stuff back together. But when you're feeling really burned out, when I'm feeling really burned out, I can't take on too much. Like in the class the other day, when I was looking at like what's likely to get in the way of this, I just wrote, like, I drew a picture of myself being really worn out here, and like just saying it's too complicated, it's too much to think about right now. Look, you can see I made a little, there's another example of that. So all I'm doing for this simple, gentle burnout recovery plan this week is not scrolling. That's it. Now, will that have a ripple effect? I think so. And I actually feel like it already is, because those other guardrails are sort of in the back of my mind. And I think that they will pleasantly affect each other as the week goes on. But I can report back to you later if that is also the case. So I really, really, really hope this is helpful for you personally. I hope it's helpful for you professionally. If you're working with clients who want to take on a goal, get them to acknowledge what is likely to get in the way, and then look and see, how can I plan ahead for that? Instead of, like, we tend to just try to barrel through things. Resistance is a natural thing that comes up. Barreling through doesn't really work. So planning ahead, being honest about, here's why I'm going to fail on this most likely, and here's what I can do to plan ahead for it. So happy to share this with you. And let's just do an Outmoji. And let's see here. I'm going to pick this dark blue color. All right, so real quick, and go back to the page we're on here. So we'll just review. This was how I was feeling when I came in. A little nervous, but glad to be here and curious. Here's a small thing that'll make a difference for me this week, not scrolling. Here's what's likely to get in the way, is that I just totally forgot, or I'm really tired. And here's what I can do about it. I can be accountable with somebody else, and or I can make a little checklist, and my little checklist is the one that I'm actually doing. Okay, so Outmoji, how do I feel now that I've made this video? So let's see here. I feel great, actually. I am happy that I've done this. And so I've got like good rays going out into the world and a big smile. And let's even put some sunglasses. I think it's funny when we put sunglasses on the sunshine because it's kind of not really even almost a thing, you know what I mean? How can the sun I guess maybe there's other stars that our sun could wear sunglasses for. Um, yeah, no, I'm just really glad. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be connecting with all of you out there in YouTube land. I'm very hopeful that this is making a difference for you. We are here to reach more than 1 million people, at least 1 million people worldwide with simple creativity, so we can really make a difference for ourselves, for others, for the planet. Big difference we can make, and we're starting here at Crooked Line. So check out the description below for any further info that you might like to find. I've got books, I've got classes, all that good stuff. And yeah, lots of ums, and we'll see you next time here on Crooked Lines. Much love. Bye bye for now.